Hey there, superstars. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And I'm coming to you literally laying down on the couch. I've just gotten back to my hotel room here in Sydney. And I'm losing my voice. I don't know why, because I haven't done any talking hardly today. I'm pretty sure it comes down to how wrecked I absolutely am. I've been at an amazing one of JT Fox's events today with a bunch of different business people. It's been different. I haven't really got to connect with too many people at this event other than some amazing human beings that I already know, and got to have a really great lunch out with one of the superstars that I actually was in Hawaii with today. So that was really fun and really interesting. And I'll be bringing more details about that actually, and introducing you to this friend of mine because he has a fascinating story that I only got to touch the tip of the iceberg on today. And I'm going to do a bit more research on him and his incredible work that he is doing in the world. And his story and journey is going to be so inspiring to you guys. I can't wait to hopefully get to interview him probably tomorrow while we're both in the flesh. But I will bring you more details about that as soon as I work it all out. But at the end of the day, I wanted to touch on a message today, and I'm going to bring my story into it. And the message today is all about saving your worries for the times that you can actually do something about them, right? Okay, so here's what happened yesterday. So remember yesterday, my Facebook Live I did for you guys whilst I was at the airport, and I was kind of gloating. I was kind of thinking how lucky I was that my flight was the only flight that didn't get cancelled, and that all the flights before and the flights after were cancelled, but this one was supposed to be going. And anyway, you know, I kind of got humbled with that flight, because what happened was it ended up getting delayed for about two hours at the airport. And then what happened was we then eventually got to board the plane. And then we sat on the plane, and there's me in my row 1 exit row. I thought I was so lucky as well that I got that seat or whatever. And then we're sitting on the plane for almost 2 hours there, and then the flight gets cancelled. And what was happening on that flight, so it was a full flight, and there were people. It was so fascinating for me because I was at the front of the plane. So, you know, I was where the flight attendants were, and I got to see kind of how people were responding and reacting, and the questions they were asking, and the fights that they were having, and the aggression that they were exuding. And it was really interesting because, you know, watching them. And by the way, I'm laying down on the couch right now because I literally had 4 hours sleep, and I'll tell you the story. Anyway, I won't jump ahead. But anyway, okay, back to last night. And so people were freaking out, and there were literally women on the plane having panic attacks. Like, no joke. We're just on a plane, sitting there on the tarmac. We haven't even moved. There's some sort of technical difficulty now, so we're not moving. We're literally just sitting there. And people were flipping out. Like, grown women were shedding tears. You know, there were people coming up to the front of the plane and demanding to get off, like demanding to have answers, blah, 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 blah. Kind of missing the point that, you know, you don't really want a plane to take off if it's got some sort of technical issue, right? Keep me on the ground for as long as you need if there's some sort of technical issue with the plane, right? We don't really want to die just so that we can test if we can just, you know, get there on time or whatever. And anyway, everybody was flipping out. Then it got cancelled. Then everybody was getting super angry. Then everybody was in panic and racing around to which counter do we go to, and it was kind of this whole crazy event. Anyway, you know, just really, I was watching, you know, standing in these big long queues to finally find out what's going to happen. Do we get a refund? Is there another flight? Can we book another flight? Whatever. And we're all singularly standing in this line going to get our answers. And I was watching every person who'd been, you know, speaking to the flight attendant walk off in a big huff, in disappointment, in tears, like all this stuff was happening. And I just thought, wow, like, you know, we work ourselves up so much, you know, it makes us shift our entire emotional state. You know, why? Because for something that we can't even change. Like, so many people, so many of us are bringing this pessimistic attitude, this, you know, like, what is the point in worrying about something and putting yourself in a negative state when you can't do anything about it, right? Like, it's simple, but it's true. And I watched, you know, probably about 80 to 90% of the people were really over dramatizing the whole situation. Now, that goes to say that I don't know what's going on in those people's lives either, and I'm a big believer in don't judge another person, you don't know their story. But, you know, with that aside, let's just say that they're all normal people like me. We're all in the same situation, but they're flipping out, they're freaking out, they're having panic attacks, they're getting angry and abusive to people who aren't in control of the weather and the conditions and the technical issue or whatever, right? And anyway, what happened after that was I also had, you know, somebody also at the airport catching a different flight, and I was concerned that their flight was going to get cancelled, so I hung out at the airport for even longer than that. My flight was supposed to take off at 3, ended up, you know, this was about 9 o'clock, and I'm wondering, are they going to take off? And so I waited around for longer, and all this stuff happened. But anyway, I eventually, their flight did take off. They were one of the lucky ones, not me, and I thought I was. And then anyway, ended up getting home, you know, and just thinking, what am I going to do? I ended up deciding it would have been easy because, you know, the airlines, all of the airlines said that all their flights were booked out. I couldn't get another flight until Monday. And I was coming up to Sydney to go to a 2-day event, right? That started at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I was supposed to be flying up the afternoon before. And I thought, well, if I can't get there before 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, what's the point in going? I'm going to miss the event. Don't want to do that. But then I was like, I've got to find a way though, because, you know, you don't know who you're going to connect with at these kind of events. You don't know what opportunity is going to be opened up, and I'm all about making the most of any opportunity, particularly in these environments. I'm really enjoying so far what I've been through with the JT Fox organization. It's been, you know, really just great to get into that mindset about taking your business and your mission to a whole new level. And I'm really inspired by the people in the room, the results that they've generated, you know, just the kind of people that they are and the energy that they have. I really, really like it. So I was like, I want to make this happen. Anyway, the only airline that had anything available was Qantas. Anyway, I looked at the flights, and they were about $500 one way. And I was like, oh, $500 one way? Like, it's an hour flight, right? And I'm thinking, not really sure I want to go that bad. Like, do I do that? I pondered, I questioned, I checked some other thing. And then, you know what? I came back to it, and the flights had gone up to $1,400 for a one-way flight. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely not doing that, right? Like, why would what could I do with that money? Like, I'm not going to pay for 1 hour flight. I'm just going to have to not go. And I wasn't feeling great about it. I decided to just check on a different site and a different site. And I actually found the flight again for that, back at that $500 amount. And I thought, okay, I'm not having to actually pay for the event that I'm going to. I also had already pre-booked and paid for my accommodation, which I wasn't going to be able to get a refund on. And then I knew I was getting a refund for my other flight, that just got cancelled. So I thought, okay, that money's coming back. I'm like, you're just going to do it. And so I did. I booked it, and they had one flight that was going to get me pretty much just bang on time. I'm lucky that the event is being held right here at the airport at one of the hotels here. And so I thought, okay, I reckon I can make it. I can do it. So I booked the flight, spent the most I've ever spent on a ticket between Melbourne and Sydney. But whatever, like, it's more about the opportunities, right? And the opportunity that, that you're kind of buying and could be missing out on. And so I did that. And then this morning, got in the Uber, got to the airport on time, everything going smoothly. Then the flight was a little bit delayed, and I got here to the airport. I arrived about 20 minutes before the event started, and had to get I actually ended up having to get a taxi, even though I could have walked there, but it would have taken me about probably 20 minutes or something. I was like, I don't have time. Jumped in the taxi, conned the taxi to actually take me, because you know they never want to take you very far, and it was like, I think it was only 500 meters, or no, I can't remember. It must have been more than that to take me 20 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, got him to take me, got there. I literally got a seat 1 minute before the talk of the day started. So I made it just on time. I had to like just put my bag with the concierge and not check in or anything. And anyway, made it all happen. And I did it with a smile on my face, you know. And, you know, there were plenty of people on the flight that I was on today who were definitely not happy. And definitely continuing that whole, you know, it's gone from the day before into the next day, and we take that emotional experience with us. And I know what I'm saying is nothing new, but sometimes we just need that reminder, you know, to just pause for a minute and just go, you know, is this thing like that is creating such a negative emotional state for me, is it something that I can change? Okay, all right, fair enough. I can change it. So what am I going to do about it, right? Take action. And if it's not something that you can change, if it's out of your control, then just remind yourself that it is wasted energy, and it's totally unemotionally intelligent to get worked up and annoyed and have panic attacks and freak out about something that just can't be changed, right? You know, put a good flavor on it at the end of the day. That's all you can do. And you know what happened for me? Like, I sat on the plane and I had so much time to actually get back to all of your amazing comments and get back on top of some messages that you guys had sent me. And I actually had a really productive time just sitting on the plane, you know, getting all that stuff done that I wouldn't have otherwise had the chance to, you know. So, you know, just hoping that this is a reminder for you guys about stop worrying about the things that you just can't change, and kick on through like I definitely have with barely any sleep. But I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a few extra hours, and then I've got a pretty early start tomorrow as well. But definitely wanted to get this message over to you guys, even if it meant I had to lay down on the couch to get it done. And I'm going to go have a beautiful shower and feel amazing and get into bed. So I can't wait. But drop me a comment, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. I absolutely love getting to connect with you guys and see who's been able to join me. But I've got Corey and Yvonne and Steve and Kenny and Alex and Judy and Yvonne, JT Fox. Interesting to know your thoughts. Wasn't sure how to take him. Yeah, you know, he's definitely a very polarizing character, you know, in this industry. And yeah, because I think there's a lot to be said, but, you know, a lot of people who I've spoken to have only gotten to witness JT Fox like at, you know, an event where he might have 90 minutes to just sell something, right? You know, at maybe a National Achievers Congress, you might have seen him there. You know, different stages, and he might have just had that selling to do. Anyway, I heard before I met him some pretty negative stuff, and honestly, I was like, well, you know, like you know, I don't really like thinking, like getting into an opinion of somebody before I've had an experience of them. So I kind of was like, I don't want to hear the negativity. Just like, I'm just going to go to this free event. I didn't know, you know, who the people were at all, but it was, you know, it was all about speaking and taking business to the next level. So I was like, why wouldn't I go? Might meet some good people, who knows? And I had a brilliant experience there. I totally can understand why people get the idea that they just don't like the guy or unsure how to take him, because he uses brutal honesty. Now, if I was to talk to you guys, if I was talking to my masterclass people who have been introduced to the realm of the neuroscience of personality psychology, all the great stuff that I work with, particularly my coaching clients with, but you guys in the masterclasses, you've seen this stuff. I've given you the deep dives and all sorts of stuff, and a lot of you have done your profiling sessions with me, so you know what personality type you are. Now, I've been going to a number of JT Fox's events of late, as you guys have seen, and I've gotten to experience him in different levels, different modalities, not just the free events, but going to retreats and all sorts of things. So I've seen him in multiple different contexts, and I have been passively profiling him. So for all of you guys who know anything about personality profiling, JT Fox is a polarizing character, but he's actually operating in his genius totally. All right, so he is, I believe, I haven't taken him through an actual profiling session. Not sure he'd be open to that at all. So one of the skill sets that I have, though, is being able to passively profile people. So what that means is usually it's my aim to actively profile you. So I'd sit down, I'd get to ask you a million questions about who you are and how you work, and kind of, ask you certain questions so I could kind of take a side door into your mind and give you language to the best parts of who you are, and give you kind of that roadmap and that blueprint of how to become the best you, right? Uniquely based on your unique wiring. But I also have the skill set to passively profile people, and I can't stop myself. I'm always profiling everybody. It's a filter that I can't get rid of. Now, I've developed quite a skill in this so far, and so far I'm feeling like I'm pretty on point with every time I do this. And then if I get to actively profile, I'm always trying to prove myself wrong to make sure I've definitely got the type right. But hands down, I can't see any other type other than what's called a sensation accuracy genius, which is JT Fox. Now, I could do a very deep dive on what that all means and dive deep into his personality and show you why he is quite polarizing, and show you why for a lot of people he might rub them the wrong way. But at the end of the day, one of the key things that I love about personality psychology, and why I'm so passionate about sharing it with the world, is because it opens your mind up as a unique individual that you are to what your unique genius is, to see how our differences need to be encouraged. Because at the end of the day, we've all got a different genius. There's 16 different personality types. We all represent them in a very unique way on the individual level, but at the end of the day, there's 16 different types of what we call your genius, and we need every single one of them in society in order to have a fully rounded out, healthy, functioning society. And it just so happens that JT Fox, if I'm correct in my profiling, is that sensation accuracy. You can call them the serial entrepreneur. They are the walking reality check. They are truth tellers. They are second to none, fantastic and phenomenal at reading people's body language and noticing inconsistencies and incongruities that kind of being able to tell that you're lying to yourself, right? So a great way that I like to explain the accuracy process, which is really, if you think about the story, The Emperor Has No Clothes. Now, if you know that story, you'll know that there was an emperor. He always was getting the tailors to make him new clothes, until they just got fed up with having to make him new clothes anymore. And they all kind of got into cahoots with one another and said, let's pretend that we've made him, this amazing outfit, but really, it's out of invisible silk or something, and really we're not going to make anything because we're sick of making him anything. And they convinced him of this, and he paraded through the street naked, and all the town and whatever pretended as if you look, that's the most amazing outfit ever, right? The social contracts, the social niceties that we need to obey in society, right? But and that's very harmonious, right? And there's different cognitive functions that represent that way that we operate in society. But at the end of the day, there was a little dissenting voice in the crowd that said, the emperor's got no clothes on, right? He's just a truth teller. And everybody was, terrified to tell the truth. But, he, as the accuracy little kid, was just saying it how it is. Why are we pretending you know, and like worrying about this guy's feelings when the truth is he's got no clothes on, right? So that's a story, and that's a really good way of just thinking about what accuracy is all about. We absolutely need truth tellers in our lives if we are going to have truthful ways of being. You know, many of us have convinced ourselves of our own lies, and we've gotten so caught up in it that we ultimately, you know, trip ourselves up, stunt our potential, and we wonder why we're feeling so unfulfilled and so out of alignment. We need truth tellers in our lives, and that is the genius of the sensation accuracy combination. So body language just knows it to the T, just without even thinking, you know, they can pick up, that's off, I can read that. He's just incredible at reading people, and that genius, he's not the only person in the world who does that, right? That is unique to that particular personality type in terms of the genius. So I went off on a tangent on that, but I'm so passionate about all things personality psychology, and I love getting to talk about this stuff and take people through these sessions. So, you know, you ask the question, and that's what's been on my mind, because I'm not only at these events, you know, learning great skill sets, I'm also developing my skill set in the work that I do. And, you know, so I'm always testing it out. And I love that you asked that question, and I'll happy to share more and more of my experience. But yeah, it's also, you know, very, very polarizing, as we said. But the way I look at it is when you can appreciate our differences and know that we all have a unique genius that needs to be encouraged, you know, because we want our genius encouraged. We don't want to be stifled because we're different to the next person and they don't have the capacity of mind to understand our differences and appreciate them. So we need to be able to do that for others. And one simple way of getting into that mentality is understanding what your unique wiring is, so that you can appreciate yourself and step into your genius. And, you know, when you are appreciating yourself, you can appreciate others. You can hold more space for them to show up in ways that might be opposite to you. But when you understand that we've got this makeup throughout society, you don't take offense to it anymore. You can actually love and appreciate the entirety of another person, because you know what's going on for them, right? And you know that for them to operate like you is not going to help you, and it's definitely not going to help them or the rest of society. Anyway, love that, Yvonne. And I've also got Syed here. All the best. Thank you, my friend. And Philippe's here, and Nikki, hello to you, beautiful. And Kane's here, and Ramon, and Jeannie, and Ali. I can watch every day. You speak very sweet. Thank you. You are so welcome, Ali. I'm grateful to have you back, my friend. And Vanessa's here, and Ram, and Ty, and Mohammed. I'm doing really well. Hope you are as well. And Philippe, sending you a big hug. Many big hugs all the way back to you, Philippe. I can't even talk properly. I don't even know what I said then. Anyway, I love it, Philippe. Great to see you, my friend. And Alex, a feeling of at effect to time living through external realities, rather to be acutely aware the backwards forwardness of the internal reality, ability to decide the value of the external event. Yeah, so that's kind of, in your way, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? So, yeah, definitely, you know, are you going to be at, you know, reaction mode to your external events, or are you going to respond? You know, the definition of emotional intelligence is being able to make a situation better rather than worse based on your response to it. You know, are you going to bring negative energy and bring the rest of the people around you who, you know, are just going to follow that energy? You're going to bring them down with you? Or are you going to be the leader in your energy? Lift your game. Like, you know, if there's no point worrying about it, you're always at choice point in terms of how you want to feel. And however you feel in any given moment is your experience of your reality. You know, you're in control of that. So, absolutely, Alex, and great to see you back. And Jerry, hi Vanessa, yay, you're back too, from Quebec City. I love it. A nice Saturday to you. Some worries are just out of our control. It's the way we handle the situation that we make of it. Make the best of it. Keep your good energy. Absolutely. Spot on. And yes, grateful to have you. And thanks for sharing. I always love when you guys comment and contribute to the conversation. So I'm not just here by myself. I love that. And Philippe, your focus, expand the feeling that you are experiencing. Take action on what you can change. If you can change it, change yourself. Or change yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. You know, it's all about your emotional experience, all about perception. So make sure that you're, you know, if you're not enjoying the experience that you're having, what are you thinking about? What are you making things mean? Shift and change it. You'll have a different experience, right? So yeah, that's what makes life good. So I love that, Philippe. And hello to Emanuela and Adrian and Kay and Wayne and Tony and Vanessa. This is great. Thank you. You're so welcome, beautiful. Great to have you here. And Maddie's here as well. Good to see you. And Jared, yay. Leader, absolutely. I love it, my friend. And Michelle is here as well. All right, guys. So I'm hoping that this kind of was a mixed bag of a message, you know, because my brain is a bit of a mixed bag right now. But I'm hoping that it just gets you thinking, just common sense stuff. But sometimes we just need to build that muscle because, you know, when we're lacking in emotional intelligence, it's easy to get, you know, thrown off and worried and, you know, upset by any uncontrollable, you know, external circumstances. But at the end of the day, you're in control of how you want to feel. So make sure that things that you're worrying about, make sure that they're things that you can actually change. And if you can't change it, just don't worry about it. You know, find something else to think about, be positive. You know, like I did last night, just find a different thing that's going to help you progress in some way. And don't get so caught up and worked up about it. And yeah, and I love talking about the personality stuff as well. So, all right, guys, that is it from me today. I am going to go have a shower and going to go and get into bed and try and get some sleep so I can be on top of my game tomorrow. But I'm hoping that this message has definitely served you, and I so appreciate each and every one of you superstars who could join me live. And if you guys are catching the recording, definitely drop me a comment. But I love your contributions. You guys light up my world, and as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, and that you're doing something super empowering, and that today's message has definitely served you. All right, so I am definitely gonna sign off. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Much love.